In a rapidly expanding omniverse of sci-fi content, two Terrans try to make sense of it all. From the latest to the greatest to the most thought-provoking science fiction content on the screen, we bring you Crowded Space Podcast.
Welcome to episode 26, First Contact. I'm your host, Eric.
And I'm your other host, Jarod.
And that was episode 26, First Contact of Season 2, Episode 1 of Strange New Worlds, called Breaking the Rules is Only Logical. So what do you think?
First impression was an okay start to the new season. There's nothing that I really disliked about it.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel as strong as an offering as, season 1.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. But before we get into those reasons, I'd love to hear what you thought about Strange New Worlds.
I thought that it was okay. It kind of like brought the other characters to the forefront and kind of put Pike on his own. He kind of left in like the first 2 minutes of the episode, which was understandable where he's going. So I'm assuming the next episode is going to be his kind of story. But I'm liking this character arcs in kind of an episode. They have multiple arcs of characters because it kind of builds them up. You know what I mean? There's not just one character or two characters. It kind of like they're spreading it out like it was in Next Gen and DS9, where they had multiple characters with multiple storylines instead of just a couple favorites. Which that's what this episode was like.
Yeah, and from the rumblings of what I've heard, the people that have seen the first 6 episodes, the professional reviewers and whatnot, they're like, yeah, first is kind of and then 2, it ramps up real hard, real fast. And so, yeah, that was I'll admit, it's a disappointment, as we talked before. Christopher Pike is
he's your bud.
Awesome, just an awesome addition to the Star Trek universe. And so not having him in the first episode, I agree with you. It was great. That's me making the best of a bad situation. It's like, hey, yeah, they did focus on the other characters. We get to see a lot more of Spock. This is a Spock-centric episode, I would say. And there is a real-life reason why Christopher Pike was written out of this episode. He was with child for this. So, okay. So there's a good reason. And hey,
I guess that's an excuse.
Man, and I suppose, geez.
If you're going to do that, I guess... you get a pass.
Yeah, but they left on this cliffhanger of, what's going to happen to number 1? And they don't really resolve that in the first episode of a new season. And that's kind of a crap cliffhanger to do, right? Can you imagine back with Star Trek Next Generation and, Picard's taken by the Borg and he's Locutus, cliffhanger. Yeah. And then everyone waits a year. And then the next episode's like, it's about Deanna Troi. They would riot in the streets.
So true.
So I think that goes to show how many hopes and dreams are pinned on Strange New Worlds that we're able to be like, you left us with a cliffhanger and we don't get our captain for the first episode, but we're all in.
Because, the first season was phenomenal. So they did a great job with the first season. It kind of brought Trek back to its originality. So
they've got a lot of stock from all of us viewers.
And I think they built their characters up too. Like I said, with the crew itself, you kind of they separated them out a little bit and made them into a little. So now you're more invested than just I like the captain. That's the only person I like, and he wasn't here. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah, and so like I said, it's a Spock-centric episode, even though the other characters get a little time to shine, and they introduce a whole nother character, the new engineer, which you'll get into. But just to recap the story in general, essentially, as Pike rushes off to come to the legal aid of his number 1, Spock is left in command, and it's during kind of an emotional period for him, for reasons we don't necessarily need to get into right now.
No.
But soon after he's in command, he gets a message from their departed crew member, Laan Union Singh, saying kind of cryptically, come help, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And Federation won't let him go, so he quote unquote steals the
breaking
Enterprise.
the rules is is only logical
to come to her aid.
He gets his captain's line in there too.
I don't think that's going to be his keeper line. Let's hope not.
Why, you didn't like that? I like the ship
was a great
to
scene.
go now.
Yeah. I liked it because I'm like, I'm not having any of your BS right now. Let's just, we're on a mission. Let's do this.
You're not Pike. I don't want to hear anything from your mouth right now.
Yeah.
But he did get his Vulcan loot there. That's how so in the original, he played a lot of that. Spock played a lot of that. So that's kind of like his shtick with getting back to his more calmer self. Is that loot that was it Magbaga or something?
Yeah, the doctor gave him Mbenga gave him it. And some people are like, what's he doing with the loot on a starship? I'm like, A, replicator, B, Dr. Mbenga is supposed to be like our top of the line specialist in Vulcan anatomy and physiology or whatever. So,
and not only that, it's fucking canon, man. If you don't know what the hell he's doing, then you shouldn't be watching this stuff, honestly.
No, I think that's the beautiful thing about Strange New Worlds. There's a lot there for old Trekkies. Yeah. And it's dazzling and brilliant and fantastic for new people
because he had it. He had that loot in 4 episodes, the original and the movie.
So there's one scene I wanted to get your take on. So, Spock is under some stress. He's in the sick bay with Dr. Mbenga. Christine, Nurse Chapel walks in. And telltale sign. Mbenga knows what's going on.
Yeah,
He's
he
no
does.
Fool.
Yeah, he does.
Spock and Chapel are probably in denial, but I really like Chapel's character because she just plays the field and she's kind of pansexual.
I was going to say loosey-goosey, but I don't think that's very appropriate.
There's nothing wrong with loosey-goosey. We're not being like, she's a damn slut. Oh, no, she's just sexually liberated. Like, whatever. I'm completely fine with that.
I like the character being hashed out because she was a character in the original, and it wasn't really like, it was more of a cameo than anything else, right? So it wasn't then like, hey, let's make her a main character. I love that. Like it's like taking O'Brien in Next Gen series, right? Not totally part of the major crew, but O'Brien was massive in Next Gen and in DS9, and it's not a commander like in part of the official command crew. Right, he's kind of like it's something with her. So I kind of like that, the separation between you got the cool main command,
right, with your enlisted officer.
Yeah, and I like that.
Not. Yeah,
I think that's a cool way to introduce that aspect of the crew on a starship.
It does make me want to go back and look at the original series and see if there were any kind of sparks between Chapel and Spock that they're playing off of.
That would be cool if there was.
I want to say I remember a couple of scenes where she like touched his hand. Yeah. Like she did show some sort of affection to him, and it was not reciprocated whatsoever. From my memory, it has been a while.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, what do you think of that relationship?
I'm all in, dude.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, guns blazing, go for it.
Okay. Nice.
I get the trying to stay to the original core of Star Trek, but I'm also like, I'm kind of sad that I already know Pike's fate. His where he's going into, what's going to happen to him, which kind of sucks because I like Pike. Then you wouldn't have Kirk. Right, so it's kind of like, well, you can't think about it.
What is his fate really? His fate is actually to live a life of paradise with a woman he loves. on an alien planet. So it's not all that bad.
Yeah, but I also like the fact that obviously we'll be in spoiler land. We're already there, but in season 1 where they showed what would happen if Pike didn't follow what his faith, what his fate was, and it happens to Spock, which really can't happen to him because he's kind of like the savior of the galaxy later on. So he kind of saves what happens with in the Kelvin
timeline. Yeah.
Anyway,
the Kelvin timeline.
But I'm all in. Anything that makes the crew, you invested in the crew, is a plus for me. Yeah. As long as they don't shoehorn stuff in there.
Yeah,
that's when I start getting pissed off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't like shoehorning because then it's blatantly like they did that a lot with call anymore.
Oh, so many
Discovery.
shows.
Discovery, they did that. They had great relationships with the crew. They all brought them out, and all of a sudden they shoehorned the Trill in there. Like, you didn't have to shoehorn the wannabe Trill in there. You had perfect. You had covered. You had all your bases covered.
Yep.
You had, everybody had relationships. Didn't matter what they were there. And all of a sudden you shoehorn that in there, and what happens? The show ends.
Yeah. Because instead of bringing the Trill in, I would have loved to see the not Mirror World Lorca get rescued.
Yeah.
And somehow be part of the crew.
Yeah.
That would have been fantastic. He's still out there. He's not confirmed dead. So it could happen.
But that's the thing that drives me crazy. But right now, it's like a smooth sail. It's like really silky smooth with this crew. They've got it. As long as they don't lose it.
Well, you could say that they shoehorned the new engineer in there a little bit, but again,
the other engineer died though.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree. The appearance of the new cast member. So what do you think of her?
She's a great actress. She was in Bill Murray there, Scrooge. She was one of the ghosts. Like she was
Christmas present, if I do believe. I'm a big fan of Scrooge. Like if I was going to watch a movie for Christmas, it's
and
Scrooge.
Also The Incredible Adventures of Kimmy Schmidt, something like that.
Yeah,
she was
she's
the landlady, so she was good in that. So she's definitely a good addition to the crew because I love it when they find no-name actors and they put them up front, and then they put like they put the actors that are like they're veterans, and they put them in there and they hold their own. That's you have a good show when that happens.
Yep. Yeah. So just put a name to the role here. We're talking of the new engineer, Pelia.
She's like a new race, right, or something like that.
Yeah, Landerite, which supposedly is a very long-lived race. They look identical to humans, and
so it's kind of
supposedly she was living on Earth for a long time. Like she hasn't been in a starship for 100 years.
Okay, like Whoopi Goldberg's character.
Yeah, exactly. I hadn't heard of this race before.
No, I think it's new. I think they kind of
because the only reason anyone noticed was because Uhura noticed her dialect or something, and I'm like, I think that's just Carol Kane. Just sounds right. She
sounds like she's drunk all the time. Voice. She sounds she's drunk, so she should be just drinking all the time.
Yeah. She does sound drunk. Yeah, it's so true. Especially in Scrooge.
She's like, okay. You just start drinking whiskey in the back there or what?
Yeah, she was weird. She's the weirdest character, at least in Strange New Worlds. And yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
But in a good way.
It'll be interesting to see what they hash out with her, how that works. But I kind of like how she figured everything out.
That was,
I thought that was kind of cool.
Like, well, if you wanted to steal the ship, you should vent the exhaust.
Klingons. Yeah. Ridges. And they're not albino or anything funky like that. They just look like Klingons.
Wow. How did it was so natural and so good. I didn't think twice about it. But after Discovery... Yes! Wow. Yeah.
Yep. This Discovery totally they didn't. Anyway, we don't want to talk about Discovery. We're doing Strange New Worlds. So they totally
we could easily do.
They totally hit Strange New Worlds perfectly. And I think Martok, the guy that played General Martok in DS9, I think that's him. I'm not sure.
Oh, you gotta do your homework. I gotta do
my homework for sure. When we come back to this and we do total frequency on it, because we will, because we like this show. We'll look into that. But right now, I'm kind of having a deja vu of what he looks like.
It's a very Trek thing. There's some actors that have played like 4 or 5 different characters throughout the years.
And the Klingons were chef's kiss.
I
love them.
Yeah.
I love that whole interaction. The beautiful thing, to go to Spock again, at the end, when Spock is playing diplomat, like, that is perfect foreshadowing. Yes. I'm throwing my arms up. I'm preaching right now. There's total foreshadowing of him being a diplomat.
I missed that as well. That's really good. Yeah. He was I have been known to drink blood wine.
It's awesome. He's fucking drunk. It's beautiful. The only thing we're missing is Nurse Chapel taking advantage of him. That's it.
Oh well, I think she's down with consensual sex. So
just saying.
Yeah, but when they're like trying to get him to like, come on, show some spirit, he's like, roar. Yeah, and then a couple of drinks later, he's like, roar.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I kind of did want him to go full freak like he did fighting the Gorn, right? When he was just like, rah! That would have been awesome, and like see him scare the Klingons a little bit. But I'm just wishing
I'm excited.
Now
That's the big bad this season. I'm so excited that the Gorn's a big bad. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. As long as they totally like.
Let's hope they don't screw the adult Gorn.
Yeah. Because the adolescent one was...
That's some of our few gripes, actually.
But anyway, we won't get into that. We're staying positive. If you like Strange New World Season 1, you're going to enjoy at least the first episode of Season 2. Like, I enjoyed it, and I'm sure my co-host Jarod has enjoyed it as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm in for all of Season 2.
Even if his Pike wasn't in there. But that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, he was. It was just like 30 seconds, but he was in there. I guess it was enough.
But even in those 30 seconds, it's still a big part of the show. You know what I mean? It still was a big, like, you're like, oh, man, I miss Pike. But I like these guys. You know what I mean? So
like
they did a good job.
I think they pulled their punch in the first episode. So second episode's going to be like, what? So anything you're looking forward to this season before we close up?
For number one's whole trials and tribulations, that's going to be interesting because I like that character. And I hope La'an comes back because I like that character too.
Yeah.
I enjoy her, especially in this one. I was like, yes, I'm glad, like, first episode, boom, there she is. But they brought her back. There's other stuff. I don't know. I'm a little gun-shy about Kirk coming.
You and, like, everyone else, yeah.
I'm a little gun shy about that.
I've heard some rumblings. It's like, oh, number one's she's not going to make it. And then it's going to lead to Kirk on there. Is his brother even going to be in season 2?
Guy with the porn stash?
Yeah,
get him out of here.
I went and looked up that character he had in the original series.
He had a porn stash?
Yeah, he had a porn stash. I mean, of course he did.
Because it was like the
porn stash era. But so of course he did. But I'm like, you know what? You revamped the Klingons. I think you can shave.
Was he a fluffer though?
We don't talk about my brother much.
Yeah, we don't talk about his extracurricular activities.
Yeah. Lordy Lord. But
anyway, that's my only thing. I'm kind of gun shy about what they're going to do with Kirk. Because I like Kirk, but this isn't Kirk's show. This is Pike's show. Like, I don't... You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could do 5 seasons with Pike. I don't need Kirk in this whatsoever.
No.
So hopefully they use him sparingly.
Hi, bye, and we'll see you down the road.
Yeah. And yeah, the relationship with Spock and Chapel, I hope it doesn't become too big of a focus.
Because it was in the movies,
but I'm looking
with him and
forward.
Aurora. It was a little too much.
Yeah. I'm like, yes.
You have to build that tension, I think. You got to keep with that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm a sucker for a good romance. It's just, we know how it ends, so like don't make it too big of a distraction because we know you don't end up together.
Yeah,
but we'll see. We shall see. So, and then the other thing that I've already probably said a bazillion times, I'm really looking forward to the Lower Decks episode, just because I love that as well. Yeah. The first episode or 2, they don't really find their stride, and it takes a while just to know the characters.
Yeah, it's hard because for me,
you got to watch with your eyes wide open because it's just like Easter egg, cool reference, joke on the.
It's hard
series.
because it reminds me a lot of Futurama, so that's the kind of the style.
That's a bad thing.
Well, it's not a bad thing. It's just like, it's kind of like in Futurama as well. But anyway, I got to plow through the first half a dozen, and maybe I'll get out of that funk of Futurama. And I mean, I like Futurama, but I'm just
it's hard to compare.
It feels like you're a copy, like type of thing, but it's not. It's its own thing. And plus, I want to know what the hell these characters are too when this episode comes up with.
Oh
yeah, Worlds. I don't want to be like, who's this
guy? It's the two biggest. Yeah, it's the 2 main characters essentially. So. And just really cool that they get the actors to play the roles of live action, which is something.
Oh, the voice actors are doing it. Awesome, that's awesome. Yeah, they've been kind of like throwing people to the curb.
I guess
they're doing
everyone in the
voice
cartoon,
actors.
minus the aliens, looks fairly like their
character?
character. So
That's
they've
cool.
set it up to do live action
a
if
good
they
thing.
wanted to. If they wanted to, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan in general of taking something that's animated and making a live action. Like it's
animated. Why do you need that? Yeah, Disney. You do a lot of that.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, but the new Lion King's so great. I'm like, yeah, but I heard the original's great too.
Yeah.
So, but hey, they got you
anyway.
to buy a ticket, so guess it works. Who are we to judge? I think
close
that
it out?
is yeah. So, just want everyone to remember that it's not the destination.
It's the journey. Take care.
Bye. Cool.